How many times have you woken up feeling like today is just going to be another ordinary day? Like life is stuck in a never ending cycle where nothing really changes? You might think it takes a big event to turn your life around, but what if I told you that in just a few minutes, you could start your day with completely different energy? It sounds counterintuitive, right? But here's the secret. Sadhguru, with his ancient wisdom, reveals that real transformation doesn't require hours. It requires focus and intention. In just a few minutes, not only will you feel refreshed, but you'll also gain clarity on what's been holding you back from living fully and how to break through those barriers. This isn't an empty promise. It's an invitation to a fresh start, quick, simple, and deeply effective. Ready to begin? There's something magical about seeing tears of joy streaming down someone's face. Those tears are like little diamonds, reflecting the depth of genuine emotion. Sadhguru often emphasizes that when someone sheds tears of joy, they're expressing a direct connection with their essence, free from the walls of ego or judgment. In that moment, the person reaches their purest state, as if the invisible barriers we build around ourselves have dissolved. To get to that point, it's crucial to cultivate an inner environment of peace and contentment. Ask yourself, how often do you allow yourself to feel joy for no reason at all? Imagine what it would be like to live in a state where joy is your natural response to the world. These tears of joy aren't reserved for big life moments. They can emerge from the simplest experiences. Think about a time you watched a sunset and felt deep gratitude just for being alive, or when you witnessed the birth of a child and emotions overwhelmed you in a way you couldn't control. That's the power of true joy. Sadhguru teaches that to nurture these experiences, we need to create a circle of joy around us, starting with small acts. Instead of just waking up and diving into your routine, why not take a moment to send a message of gratitude to someone? A simple, "I'm thinking of you and hope you have an amazing day," can change someone else's day, and, in return, bring joy to you. This circle of joy is endless. Once you start the chain, its effects ripple far beyond you. Sadhguru shares that true happiness is an energy that naturally spreads. And here's the secret. When you focus on creating happiness around you, it inevitably comes back to you. It can start at home, at work, or in your everyday interactions. Maybe it's an unexpected gesture of helping someone with a task or sharing a genuine laugh with a stranger. By doing this, you not only create a positive impact on others, but also awaken your own ability to connect with inner joy. But there's something that holds us back from living this way, and that something is fear. The fear of suffering is the next obstacle we need to face. The fear of suffering is one of the biggest prisons of the human mind. Sadhguru explains that most people live in constant fear, always worrying about what could go wrong, which keeps them from fully experiencing life. It's as if they live in an invisible bubble where every step forward is blocked by the fear of pain. This fear paralyzes us because, in trying to avoid suffering, we end up closing ourselves off from all other possibilities. Have you ever thought about how many opportunities you've missed because you were stuck in the what if? What if I fail? What if I get hurt? These questions drain our energy and pull us away from experiences that could change our lives. Overcoming the fear of suffering begins with a shift in perspective. Suffering isn't a sign of failure. It's a signal that there's something to be learned. Sadhguru teaches us that suffering only hurts when we resist it, but when we accept it as part of our growth, it loses its power to control us. Think of it like a wound. If you ignore it, it won't heal, but if you treat it, it can recover. Instead of fearing what might happen, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience, even if it's painful? This simple shift in mindset can turn suffering into a tool for growth rather than a barrier. It's also important to understand that fear is a creation of the mind. It doesn't exist in the present. It's based on an imagined future. Sadhguru often emphasizes that living in the present frees us from this fear because in the now, suffering hasn't happened yet. The key is to stay mindful of the present moment and not let the fear of what might happen tomorrow control the decisions you make today. Imagine what it would be like to face every challenge with courage without worrying so much about the pain it might bring. When you realize that suffering is just part of the process, life opens up in all its dimensions. And it's in this openness that we discover a new strength: inner security. Inner security is what allows us to live without being shaken by life's ups and downs. Sadhguru teaches that when we reach a state of inner stability, external events lose their ability to throw us off balance. Whether the circumstances around us are favorable or challenging, our security comes from within. Picture this. In the face of adversity, you're able to remain calm and act with clarity without being overwhelmed by anxiety. This kind of security doesn't depend on money, success, or any external factors. It's something you build within yourself through daily practices of reflection and self-awareness. This inner security gives us the freedom to explore all dimensions of life. Without it, every decision is made out of fear of loss or getting hurt. But when you feel secure inside, the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown fades away. This opens the door to new projects, deeper relationships, and experiences you might have avoided out of fear. For example, someone who wants to change careers but is afraid of leaving the stability of their current job. With inner security, that decision becomes less frightening because true security doesn't come from the job itself. It comes from the confidence that you can handle whatever changes come your way. Sadhguru reminds us that this security isn't something unreachable. It's a quality we can cultivate through self-knowledge. A practical example is starting your day with a simple meditation that helps you reconnect with your center. By doing this, you train your mind to find balance no matter what's happening outside. It prepares you for anything, from difficult conversations to major decisions. After all, when your control center is within you, the outside world can fluctuate without affecting your peace. And with this solid foundation, you gain the ability to think more clearly. Clear thinking is one of the key factors in living a fulfilled life. And Sadhguru encourages us to deeply reflect on how we are investing our time and energy. Too often, people go through life on autopilot, doing things without questioning their purpose or long-term impact. It's important to pause and ask, will what I'm doing today still make sense in 25 or 50 years? This simple reflection can help us break free from superficial living and start building something lasting. A clear mind isn't one that avoids problems, but one that sees beyond difficulties and makes decisions that create real value, both for ourselves and others. Clear thinking comes from a place of inner stillness, where the noise of external distractions loses its grip. Sadhguru teaches that, like the body, the mind also needs training and discipline to function efficiently. Just as focusing on one task is more productive than multitasking, clear thinking means cutting out unnecessary thoughts and focusing on what truly matters. For example, instead of reacting impulsively to daily challenges, take time to meditate and observe your thoughts. With practice, you begin to notice unhelpful thought patterns and learn to focus on what will bring lasting benefits. It's like a gardener carefully selecting seeds to plant, knowing that today's choices will shape tomorrow's harvest. Sadhguru reminds us that life isn't just about solving temporary problems. It's about creating a legacy, something that will outlast our time here on Earth. To do this, we need to act with purpose. The next time you're faced with a decision, ask yourself, does this really matter in the long run? This simple question can completely transform how you live and act in the world. When you live with this mindset, your focus shifts from merely making a living to creating a meaningful life. Sadhguru often challenges us to go beyond mere survival. He explains that making a living, something even animals do, is not enough for a fully conscious human being. True fulfillment comes from creating a meaningful life where every action and choice contributes to something greater. Think about how many people spend most of their time just trying to survive without truly living. They chase paychecks, pay bills, and follow routines that in the end don't nourish their soul. But the real question is that all life has to offer? Or is there a way to make every moment truly count? Creating a life is about finding meaning in everything you do. Sadhguru encourages us to look beyond the obvious and start building a life that aligns with our true values and aspirations. Imagine if, instead of just working to pay bills, you began to see your job as an expression of what you want to leave behind in the world. This mindset applies not only to your career, but also to your daily interactions with those around you. For example, when talking to a coworker, instead of sticking strictly to work topics, try to understand what drives them and share something that could brighten their day. Small gestures like these create an impact that goes far beyond the moment. Sadhguru reminds us that we are the only ones responsible for turning our lives into something worthwhile. If we focus solely on making a living, we'll lose sight of the greater opportunity to do something more meaningful. Ask yourself, what am I doing today that truly contributes to the kind of life I want to build? When you adopt this mindset, you begin making more conscious choices, from small daily habits to major life decisions. And when the goal shifts to creating a life, the search for joy changes as well. After all, living fully isn't about accumulating material success. It's about finding joy in both the small and big things, regardless of external results. Many times, we tie our happiness to material success, believing that once we reach certain milestones, like buying a luxury car or getting a promotion, joy will automatically follow. Sadhguru challenges this notion, pointing out that many people drive fancy cars yet still feel unhappy. External success doesn't guarantee inner joy. How often have you heard of someone who has it all but still feels empty inside? This happens because happiness can't be bought or achieved through status. It's an internal state that needs to be cultivated, regardless of what's happening on the outside. True joy comes from within, a satisfaction that doesn't depend on what you have or what you achieve. Sadhguru suggests that instead of chasing success as the end goal, we should focus on living joyfully in the present moment. A practical example is finding gratitude in the small things, like a warm cup of coffee in the morning or a pleasant conversation with a friend. When you start appreciating these simple moments, joy becomes a constant companion, regardless of life's ups and downs. This shift in focus can completely transform your experience of life. It's not about ignoring success or giving up on your dreams, but about understanding that success alone doesn't bring lasting happiness. Sadhguru reminds us that the true measure of success is inner peace and joy. So the next time you reach a goal, ask yourself, did this truly bring me joy, or was it just momentary relief? If it's the latter, it might be time to rethink where you're looking for happiness. Once we realize that joy is an internal state, it becomes easier to manage our own inner world, no matter what's happening around us. Sadhguru emphasizes the importance of managing your inner state because external situations are constantly changing and are beyond our control. He explains that self-management is essential for living fully, since we can't rely on external circumstances to determine how we feel or react. Think about how many times you've allowed traffic, a disagreement at work, or an unexpected event to ruin your mood or derail your plans. These are examples of how, without self-management, we let the world around us dictate our peace and well-being. Learning to manage your inner state is like taking the wheel of your life. When you're in control, the obstacles on the road don't throw you off course. Sadhguru teaches that self-management begins with observing your own thoughts and emotions without letting them take over. A practical example is creating a moment of pause before reacting to a stressful situation. By stopping for a second, taking a deep breath, and reevaluating, you gain the power to choose how you want to respond rather than reacting impulsively. This simple practice can completely transform how you handle everyday chaos. Self-management also involves taking care of both your body and mind through practices that promote balance and clarity. Sadhguru suggests that incorporating meditation or yoga into your daily routine is a powerful way to build a strong foundation of internal stability. By practicing regularly, you develop resilience that helps prevent life's highs and lows from overwhelming you. When you're aligned internally, even the toughest situations become easier to manage. This inner strength gives you the freedom to live each moment with presence and awareness. Knowing that no matter how much the outside world changes, your inner state remains within your control. With this solid foundation, we're better equipped to recognize how temporary our existence is and how that impacts the way we live. Sadhguru reminds us, in his simple and straightforward way, that we're like pop-ups from the earth. We appear, live for a short time, and then disappear. This metaphor encourages us to reflect on the impermanence of life, something we often forget while getting caught up in daily worries. It's as though we think we have all the time in the world, but the reality is, our time here is limited. That's why we need to live with more awareness. Imagine approaching each day knowing it's a rare gift, with only so many chances to fully experience life. When we realize how temporary we are, our perspective shifts. The things that once bothered us lose their significance, and the urgency to live with purpose becomes more clear. Sadhguru invites us to live more mindfully, acknowledging the brevity of life while embracing the opportunity to feel, create, and make a difference. It's not just about being busy. It's about being truly engaged in what matters. The next time you feel frustrated or stuck in a routine, remember, you're a pop-up. Ask yourself, am I truly living or just passing time? Sadhguru also warns against waiting for the right time to start living. The right time is now, because time isn't something we can control. The longer we put off living, the more we miss out on fully experiencing life. He encourages us to embrace all dimensions of life, from peaceful moments to intense challenges. It's all part of the brief time we have here. And when you live with that awareness, every action, every word, and every interaction takes on new meaning. The real question is, what are you going to do with the time you have left? While we can't control how long we're here, we can absolutely control how we live during that time. Now that you've learned how to transform your day in just a few minutes, the question is, what are you waiting for to put this knowledge into practice? Life won't wait for you to be ready, so why not start now? What's the next step you're going to take to ensure your inner state remains strong, no matter what's happening outside? Think about it. If you continue living the same way, where will you be in a year? In 10 years? But if you adopt these practices, what kind of life could you create for yourself? The power to change is in your hands. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning how to transform your reality with teachings like these. Let's go on this journey together.